This is Boyo and Kala. Yeah, we're using those names. They keep any names simple. Somebody's been doing too much these days with the names. But Boyo and Kala drives a vehicle with a 50-liter fuel tank, which is about average for the average vehicle in the time. To fill that tank, 45 liters, providing it in amount of gas, you still have 5 liters left to the tank. So you're filling about 45 liters. So let's say you're saving about $45 each time you fill up. You fill up 4 times a month, that's about $180 in savings. Good. So far, so good. But here's the thing. Boyo and Kala don't own their own home. Yet, at least. For now, they are renting from somebody. And then one day, property tax, oh shit, landlord tax came into the equation. Now the couple is wondering, how will this affect them? On the surface, it doesn't seem like it affects them because they are a tenant, not a landlord. But the point of a landlord is to make money. A landlord is a business owner. It just doesn't seem like it. But being a landlord means you own a business. You are in the rental market, which means you have to make a profit. So now, if you are a landlord and you are now faced with property tax, well, not property tax, landlord tax, what are you going to do? You're not going to absorb that cost because it's going to eat into your profits. You are simply going to pass that cost along. Even if you were to raise rent by $50 per month, you are going to eat into that $180 savings that Boyo and Kala now enjoy because of that $1 lower gas price. But it doesn't stop there because Boyo and Kala also live in a country that manufactures stuff. And now they are going to have to pay just a little bit more for electricity. Now, again, remember, the point of a business is not to run a business. Nobody likes working. The point of a business is to make a profit, which means anything that is eating into your profit ultimately will have to get passed along the food chain. Next in line after manufacturing is whoever buying the stuff from you. And if they are selling to somebody else, then they are going to pass that cost along. Eventually, the cost is going to reach all the way down to Boyo and Kala, which wouldn't affect Boyo and Kala anyway because they have $180 in savings from lower gas. Oh, wait, no, they spend that in the rent increase. Okay. Well, they'll go figure it out. But it doesn't stop there because in this modern financial world, you have to do business with a bank or any kind of other lending institution. And Boyo and Kala are no different. They have bank accounts, they have savings, they have check-ins, they use the ATM, they go over the counter. So they use and utilize financial institutions within the country. As fate will have it, just to give him a trilogy of savings, the banks and other lending institutions are now going to have to pay a form of tax, which they're all going to say, we're not going to pass it on to the customers. No, we got to absorb the cost. And then ultimately, they're going to find a way to pass those costs right on to the customers. So Boyo and Kala are saving about $180 in fuel costs every month, but spending more than that everywhere else in their lives. And because the third movie made so much money in the franchise, Hollywood say, you give them a fourth sequel. So boom, you have a fourth installment. Your NIS gone. So let's do a mid-season recap for those who started watching the series late. Your NIS gone up, so you're making less at the back end when you don't work. Your rent will potentially go up. Manufacturing costs will go up, so you're going to be paying more for certain goods and services. The banks are going to find a way to trickle down those extra costs onto you. And then one day, when Boy was on his way to work, to add insult to injury and throw a whole bag of salt in his open cut, boom, police roadblock, ticket. But at least, at the very least, thank God for small mercies, you are now saving $180 or thereabout in monthly fuel costs. That's if you fill up once a week. Obviously, if you fill up more, your savings will be more. But you are the sucker here. You are the punchline in this joke. Everybody else in this entire chain is going to be making more money as a result of this except you. Yet, when I look around social media, you are the one I'm seeing jumping for joy. This level of stupidity cannot be an evolutionary glitch. Evolution doesn't work like that. It weeds out the weakest link. It weeds out the bad and corrupted genes and only leaves the strongest. Some of you all clearly are deliberately stupid. Somebody ran up in my chat today, they ran up, they jumped out themselves like a bad frog, like, hey, you see, look, you're not winning. And I say to myself, like, so if it changed the name of property tax and call it something else, it's no longer property tax, it's no landlord tax. And you're not seeing that. Okay, cool. But on the bright side, at least now, no VAT on Mobi, because, this was crushing us. This had our belt very, very, very tight for the longest while. So I'm glad we get some ease up on that. Lettuce, again, just yesterday I was saying to myself, boy, if only I could afford this lettuce, I'd buy it and be healthy, but the VAT is killing me. And then with salt, we all know that salt has been something you've been complaining about for years and the PM never took us seriously. The price of salt just keep going through the roof. But now it's affordable. And lastly, VAT on coconut water. I'm baffled. Who sat down in a room somewhere and thought of these things, like you sat down and say, yeah, but Mobi, they couldn't afford Mobi. And salt. Oh, the struggling families, they couldn't afford salt. I don't know what to say, Some people still think they're winning. If you think you're winning, I can't disabuse you of that. If you're winning, you're winning. I certainly not winning. This is my opinion here. I'm not winning. End of discussion. Now, to the rest of you, You all watching my videos and not following, you know. Come on. If I'm making good content, give me a follow now. Even if I'm making bad content and you want to cuss me later on, follow me so you can see the videos next week to cuss me next week. You will not follow.